So anyway, it is what it is. As I say, I go to jail for the driving while banned. I get out, I'm smashing me graft. He's not happy because all his punters are coming over. Next minute, I'm on me Mars step. We used to live in Delamore Street. You might have heard of the Delhi mob and all this. We were living in that street for 4 years. Yeah, I used to mix with the kids in that street for time. All the elders. So while I'm there, I've got me graft in the Easby and I've got me graft there in the Langy. I'm still on it myself, still on my bike, still doing my own little thing. Bam, 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 smashing it. Absolutely smashing the back out of it. I've got a punchy one day. I'm sat on my Mars step and I heard the distinctive sound of the S3. You can hear it a mile away, can't you, people? If you know, you know, don't you? So the car pulls up right outside me Mars. You've got someone that used to be my mate in the passenger seat called Rocky. I introduced Rocky to Mikey and made them link up. I've gone to jail, they've become tight. They're starting to hate on me. They've slammed it on my step. Mikey's raising his voice, ba 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 bam, da 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 da. Next minute, Rocky pulls a T8 out, Smith & Wesson. You know what a Smith Wesson is, long barrel, not a snub. He's pulled his 3.8 out and started pointing it at me, so I've just went bang into me Mars porch. But they never let a shot off. They've just bailed. So I've carried on doing my thing. The next night, some kid that I've had working with me called Thomas. He's a kid from Scotty. He's a well-known kid down here. I just forgot his surname. But he used to work with me. They went and kidnapped him, shot him in the knees, and left him on Scotland Road naked. You know, like as if you better pack it in or more people will get hurt. But you know, the G's, people, times have changed. I'd seen what Mikey Wright was about. I'd been with him on a mission and seen him lose his arse in the crunch of things. So I knew what I was up against. You want to kidnap one of ours, we'll kidnap one of yours. Unfortunately, someone called Fod was captured on Scotland Road. He was thrown over the silverback shoulder, dragged into a car, dragged to an estate in Grisdale. He was put into the German torture stance. If you don't know what that is, Google it. He was shot in both knees and had his wrists shattered. He was then untied and left to crawl along Robson Street into the betting office. He still pisses the bed to this day. He's got about 150 scars up both legs. I'm not glorifying violence. I'm not bigging it up. I'm just saying how the situation was back then. Don't forget, we're 21s, 22s, Mikey Wright's 34s, 35s. It's like a generational thing going on. So, it's on. Other people start getting shot in the legs. Like my young brother, Ian. Instead of coming for me and coming to where I'm at, they decided to go to my youngest brother, who was not hard, who weren't involved in what I was doing. He just lived in the vicinity of their houses. So he was shot in the leg. That's the first time my youngest brother got shot. He was shot in the leg. He was only 18, just had his first child, and he's with his little bird. The rat shot him in the leg. A dickhead crack fiend called Robbie Williams was alongside Michael O'Rourke when they burst into the street and just let shots off sporadically. And one's got Ian in the leg. So it was on. You know, there was a little war starting to flourish. People were getting injured. Cars burnt out. Houses burnt out. All that sort. Anyway, cut this long story short. We deal with Mikey Wright. We don't back down from him. All the enemies that were hating on us when we were around Mikey Wright, all that wouldn't give it for years, the snarlies, all these dirty, horrible little rats that wouldn't come near us, that wouldn't give us all of a sudden they're on the scene. Why? Because the kid that they're shook with, we're standing our ground against. Mikey Wright had them all shook from the core up, standard. We're the only kids that were standing our ground against them, and we were doing good. These rats now, the Farleys and all these individuals, want to start giving us firearms. They also want to start giving us drugs. Standard. They want us on board now. Why? Because we're getting known in the city to hold a very, very nasty violence between us. We're very, very, very violent individuals thanks to our childhood and our environment. So when we're inflicting violence upon other human beings, there's no empathy. It's easy to do. And when you can do violence that easy, you start getting a reputation. It's not a respectful reputation. It's a reputation of fear. And fear is not respect. It's completely different. You cannot control an empire through fear without having at least 50% respect of the same individuals. Once you're in trouble, all them people that you feel are respecting you when really it's fear, they leave you to rot. So they're all kicking back in now, wanting to harm us so we can deal with this Mikey Wright. This Mikey Wright that's been terrorising them. Come on, let's not get it twisted. He was terrorising them. Mikey Wright was at the lights. Look, he's at the lights. I told a story years ago about this kid called Gary Kane in Warrington House. He was crying in the middle of 120 lads, his first sentence, crying. Him and Adam Turner, crying eyes out. A few years later, Gary Kane is mates with Ian Farley, the one they call a nugget, the one that batters birds left, right and centre. So Gary Kane and Ian Farley, the nugget, have seen Michael Wright at a set of traffic lights, slammed it to him, put a knife to him and robbed his S3 off him. Made it Mikey. Yeah, made it right to Mikey and Mike couldn't have it. So Mikey, within a couple of days, has gone and got himself another car, got himself a mate and a thing, went up to the Nugget's house, Ian Farley's house, knocked on the door, put the thing to his head, took him into his kitchen, put him on the floor, took money, took his keys to his own car and took the Nugget's car. And the Farleys didn't like that, did they? This is all truth. This is truth. This isn't wobbling. This is factual. People can confirm it. So it is what it is. There was a call out to Mikey's flat. And Mikey at the time had all these soldiers round him. Pancake, Glover, Duncan Miller, Spiff, Wacky. These were all Mikey's little gophers. But they were scared of the Farleys due to Spiff and Tony Richardson being a part of them, right? So Mikey's had this call out. Everyone's in Mikey's flat. He's saying, I need to go to war with these. You should have seen them rats. They're all right living round him, getting the glory and the name and the fame and all this. But when it came to the crunch, you should have seen this rats. Left him in the lurch. It was only me and Rocky that stood the toe with him. This was before it all went mad, you're on it. But anyway, that's how I got into the life of crime. So I'm into this life of crime now, and I'm smashing it. Let's talk about William Moore.